Tonight on News 5 Live, a bloody weekend across the country. 4 persons are murdered in separate incidents, including 2 minors. A team of purported Mexican hitmen is nabbed in Corozal. It is reported that the sicarios were on assignment to execute a well-known drug boss in the north. Belize Rural South Area Representative Andrew Perez is granted a leave of absence as government greenlights an investigation into the transgressions of the Minister of Blue Economy. And a second assessment is underway for Belize's implementation of UNCAC. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
Make your summer better. Over $30,000 in cash and prizes with Smart Summer Sweepstakes. Here's how you can enter for a chance to win. Sign up for a smart postpaid, broadband, or VoIP plan. Use $100 or more regular prepaid credit. Do a SIM swap or text in to the shark code 786. In the body of the message, enter the number of entries you would like to purchase.
No waste no time. You can be the winner of weekly prizes. All methods give you more chances to win local airline tickets, overnight stays at numerous resorts, cash prizes, gift certificates, and much, much more. One lucky person will win the grand prize valued at $10,000, courtesy of Smart and the Belize Tourism Board.
Promotion ends September 15th. So make your summer better by getting in the race to win with Smart's Summer Sweepstakes. Smart, bringing people together.
Get ready, babe. We're going on a vacation.
Finally, where are we going?
Don't worry, babe. I have we covered.
Are you sure you know where we're going?
Yes, babe. Oh, right there, see? Babe, the price me too good to be true. Me look much more better in that picture.
When life throws you a curveball, Belize Bank has your back. With our online financing, you can turn any vacation mishap into a dream getaway.
Cheers to Belize Bank for making our dream vacation a reality.
Thanks to you, babe, to turn things around.
No thanks to you, cheapo.
Out.
Experience the future of financing with Belize Bank online, where you can secure funds for anything, from anywhere, at any time, all without stepping foot in a bank. Apply for a loan today and unlock a world of possibilities.
LG dual inverter compressor cools air faster by operating at speeds as high as 120 Hz with more stability compared to conventional models. It also saves up to 70% more energy by operating at speeds as low as 10 Hz with more stability. It reduces torque vibration down to 40% for quiet outdoor unit operation. Stable operation with low vibrations also results in increased durability.
KTV The Remix Season 5, every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Come on out and win fabulous prizes and the chance to compete in our halftime challenge. Tickets are available at Channel 5 on Pony Drive and 88 Shopping Center on Central American Boulevard. $3 for children and $5 for adults. Or catch it live on Channel 5, Facebook, and YouTube every Tuesday at 8 p.m. from the Bliss Center for the Performing Arts. Don't miss KTV The Remix Season 5. It's hot, it's live, and it's only on 5.
newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Monday, August 21st. I am Sabrina Daly. There were 4 murders recorded over the weekend, 2 in Belize City and 2 out west. In the Cayo district, and in 2 of the incidents, minors are the victims. We begin tonight's newscast with the murder of a teenager believed to be a minor at Smith's family farm on Branch Mouth Road of San Ignacio Town. A gunman opened fire in the direction of the room to a cabin where Joseph Budna and another person believed to be a minor were in. They were both hit multiple times and taken to the hospital. But while Budna survived the attack, the teenager died while receiving treatment. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
Just before 9 o'clock on Sunday night, shots rang out off Branch Mouth Road in San Ignacio Town. Joseph Budna was reportedly inside his bedroom with someone who frequented a cabin where he lived at Smith's family farm when a gunman opened fire. The bullet holes near the window are evidence of the barrage of bullets aimed at the property. Both Budna and his friend received injuries. Unfortunately, the young man died while receiving treatment at the San Ignacio Community Hospital.
He congregates with us from time to time, and he has his own colleagues and friends that he brings from time to time of his free will, no?
Were you here on the property when the shots rang out?
Well, we was having dinner last night about approximately at the same time I just told you, about 30 to 9, and we heard a screaming, and we heard someone running the bushes too as well, because we are approximately like about 25 yards from his house, and he asked for help, and we screamed. All of our family, Smith, came out and went to his place that he resides, and we saw him came out with blood on his belly, blood on his feet, and we called the police immediately. The policeman took about 5 minutes to come to present their side, and from there they take over.
Manager Roy Smith says that Budna has been a tenant at the farm for the past 9 months. He later realized that another person was mortally wounded inside the cabin. It was a frightening experience for Smith, who says that there are children who also live on the property and in proximity to the scene.
I saw Mr. Budna came out humping with blood on his side, that I told you, on the right side of his belly and his feet. And we heard moaning in the house of someone else that we didn't recognize until the policeman came and brought him out on stretcher. And it's one of the frequent friends of Mr. Budna that he brings here from time to time, and they arrested them at the San Ignacio police station. It's very frightening for us to hear such amount of bullets. We heard about 8 to 9 bullets, and it was very scary because we live pretty close and we have kids, we have our elders that live here too as well.
It has been established that the deceased frequent Budna's home. However, Commissioner of Police Chester Williams says that investigators have not been able to identify who he is nor his age to confirm if he's a minor or an adult.
Information was gathered that 2 persons were shot. One of those persons is a male adult and the other presumably is a minor. And I say presumably because we have not been able to get a proper identification of the second person. Those persons were taken to the hospital, displaying varying degrees of gunshot injuries. The adult was treated and released, while the minor, the person presumed to be a minor, succumbed to injuries received. In interviewing the adult in this case, the adult is saying that him and this person, who is believed to be a minor, were in bed, lying, listening to some mellow music when the sound of gunshots were heard, and him and the other person were injured. He further went on to disclose that he believed that the shooting was done by another person who he alleged wanted to engage in sexual activity with him for a certain sum of money, but he do not have that amount of money, and so he declined that offer.
Budna is no stranger to the local media or law enforcement. He is wanted by Guatemalan authorities after he escaped from prison for crimes of kidnapping and extortion. He has, over the years, also alleged police harassment. Is he now at risk of being charged locally for his engagement with the alleged minor?
He ended up in bed with this other person who is believed to be a minor. At this time, we're still investigating the matter to ascertain what really happened and to see if there is any possibility that charges can be brought against the adult. Again, it will be based on the age of this person. What we're gathering is that the person may be 16. If it is of 16 years, then he would be within the age of consent. If he's below 16, then he would fall outside the range of consent, and so we'll be able to look to see if we can bring charges against the male adult in this particular case. This is the activity of this individual, the adult male in this particular instance, luring minors to engage in sexual activities. And I mean male minors, not female. So it's something that we're looking at.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
A teenager was executed in an abandoned lot on Hunters Lane over the weekend. The 15-year-old ran afoul of the law on a number of occasions and was in fear of his life. But on Sunday night, fate caught up with Nigel Ferguson as he was callously murdered a distance from where he lived in Belize City. His mother believes that his murder could have been prevented had he been accepted to participate in a program for at-risk youth in Mountain Pine Ridge. News 5's Isani Cayetano has the following story.
When I get the call, I cry, but I still not believe I there, but I still not accept it. Even though I see him, I still not accept it.
A 15-year-old, described by his mother as a child with special needs, was butchered and left at an empty property in Belize City on Sunday evening.
Police were called to a house, an abandoned house on Hunters Lane, where they discovered the lifeless body of a male minor, identified so far as Nigel Ferguson. He displayed multiple stab wounds to the body. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead on arrival.
Nigel Ferguson left his home near Handyside Street sometime around 5:30 p.m. It wasn't until 4 hours later that Janet Lopez would receive an ominous phone call.
I get one call like 9:36. They tell me that they just killed my son and they're through Hunters Lane and I can go get a mobile and make them go check see if it's true. So that's what I do.
What did you observe when you arrived at the scene?
The first lot we check, we never find nothing, but the second lot, we end up finding her dead with the throat cut.
Ferguson was a long way from home when he met a most cruel and vicious end. Police are investigating and so far have been able to learn that a previous altercation involving a teenager may have precipitated the deadly outcome.
At this time, we're still trying to figure out what happened. We know that there may have been a fight earlier in the area between him and some other persons who are yet to be identified. And we're hoping that we'll be able to get more information to ascertain what actually transpired in this particular instance.
Janet Lopez does not swear by her son and readily admits that he has had violent encounters with rivals in other neighborhoods. At 15 years old, Nigel Ferguson was involved in gang activity. This is by his mother's admission.
My son has no sin, so I want to put it out there. My son has no sin. He do it wrong. I don't know what he do. I might hear about it, follow up on certain things, whatever. But the way how my son did, I really chance my son. The state of why I say, you know, right. Because he don't want a special needs child. I try to work with my son in all kind of way. All kind I could.
Despite Lopez's acknowledgement, Commissioner of Police Chester Williams believes otherwise. He says that there is nothing to suggest that Ferguson's murder was the result of gang rivalry. Is there an element of gang involvement at play?
At this time, no, we cannot say that there is an element of gang involvement.
Janet Lopez says that she had made a previous attempt at enrolling her troubled son In the Mountain Pine Ridge Youth Challenge, an initiative spearheaded by the Department of Youth Services to assist at-risk youths. Sadly, those efforts never materialized.
I even asked the system there for me help me put on the Pine Ridge program. I still never get through with that. I explained to the people that they want to kill her because of the gang affiliation thing with me there, you know. And my son dead, so.
What was the reason that they gave you why they wouldn't have accepted him in the program?
They said they follow up on some information and stuff and they might get back to me, but I never did get back no info with nothing.
Do you believe that had he been enrolled in the program, that perhaps this could have been prevented?
Yes, sir. He may live longer because I know he may live longer.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isani Cayetano.
A Belize City resident was ambushed and killed on Saturday night in front of his apartment. Reports are that just after 11:30, 28-year-old Ricardo Borja was inside his white Nissan pickup when a lone gunman approached and opened fire in his direction. Borja had just returned to the apartment from a night out in the city. Police are now questioning who would want the businessman dead. His family members are also still in shock. Borja was also a long-standing volunteer with the Belize Red Cross Society. News 5's Paul Lopez reports.
28-year-old Ricardo Borja was parked in front of his Belize City apartment inside a white Nissan pickup truck when a gunman ambushed him. According to police, Borja had just arrived at the apartment along with 23-year-old Jean Reyes.
Based on information gathered during our investigation, one Ricardo Borja drove to his apartment on a road off Coney Drive. This was sometime after 11 p.m. on Friday night. And upon entering the yard and bringing the vehicle to a stop, multiple shots were fired at the vehicle. At the time, Ricardo Borja was in the company of a female who we believe is his girlfriend. She sustained one graze and was treated and released.
Borja was a well-known businessman in Belize City. He owned Phoenix Boutique and also operated a consultancy business. Police are trying to determine whether his murder stems from any of his business dealings.
We're getting several information that are negative towards him in terms of his involvement with different activities, but I am not going to go into details of those. And yes, it could be that it is one of those that may have led to his death. And so we are looking at every possible angle that we can pursue in respect to this matter.
Notwithstanding the unfavorable reports that the Commissioner of Police says investigators are receiving about Borja, his colleagues at the Belize Red Cross tell a different story about him. He had served with the organization for more than a decade.
He was always willing. He was always a dedicated volunteer. Matter of fact, he even said that Red Cross actually helped raise him. He was always here. He started out as a youth volunteer, and he worked his way up until he became a youth leader. He was always active with the youths, and whenever it's time for field work during disasters, he was always there in the field, assisting, doing relief supplies and taking assessments.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Lisa back in November 2020, Borja was among the Red Cross volunteers responsible for the distribution of relief supplies to affected communities.
Part of my teenage life was being part of the Red Cross, being trainings, going to the first aid stop, going to parades, going into the drives, and that was like my life, you know. My friends were and are from the Belize Red Cross volunteers group.
But we also spoke with a close friend of Ricardo Borja and his family, Jacqueline Hernandez. We asked Hernandez if she thinks the speculations of wrongdoing being investigated by the police hold any weight. Here is what Hernandez told us.
At this time, the information that has been passed from the police force to us is very minimal. We know of what had happened, of course, with the shooting. He was fatally wounded. As family and as friends, we know him to be the most loving, outgoing person. In terms of the speculations to address, nothing is confirmed. We know that he was very outgoing, very aggressive businessman, very dedicated businessman, successful in everything that he did. His endeavors were always with cause, with reason, valuable to any business that he encountered and partnered with. So in terms of the speculations, that's all they are. We have no idea as to who would want to do something like that to our friend and family member.
Borja was also the holder of 2 gun license. In 2016, he was accused of criminal fraud. His employer alleged that he dishonestly appropriated $6,000. Given those past accusations, Compal Williams was asked why these gun licenses were issued to him.
He did apply for a gun license, and I can tell you I was the one who approved those gun licenses. He did produce all the requisite documents and proof that he owns a business and was generating funds, and so he would have fallen within the category of those persons. There are many persons who have been accused of committing crime and they were acquitted and they do get the gun license.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
A group of 7 Mexican nationals was busted near a checkpoint in Corozal over the weekend. The men are believed to be hired guns sent to Belize by a Mexican cartel to take out a well-known drug dealer in Corozal district. It's a frightening scenario that proves the effortless infiltration of Belize's northern border by criminal organizations operating in neighboring Quintana Roo. Those men who are in police custody at an undisclosed location claim to be consultants entering the country to work on a road construction project. It is believed, however, that they are affiliated with the Caborca cartel, a criminal outfit in southern Mexico.
Yesterday, the police were on operations within the northern districts, particularly Corozal, when their attention were drawn to a group of Mexican persons. Those persons were detained by the police and taken to the Corozal police station, where they were interviewed and later transported from Corozal to another police station in the country. I'm not going to disclose which station they currently are at, because you would know again that may pose some threat to the police officers working within that particular station. But again, for their personal safety and the safety of the police officers, we moved them to an undisclosed location at this time where they are currently being interviewed. We have seen a number of information coming out of the Mexican press involving these individuals, and I can assure you that we are working tirelessly to try and confirm or deny these information. But again, we remain vigilant along our northern borders as we continue to have incursions with Mexicans, and likewise the influences that the Mexican cartels may have on our locals within the northern districts.
So is it a fact that they came here to do a hit on a well-known drug personality in the north?
Well, what they're saying right now is that they are involved in some road consultancy with the, I think the project that is being run by UNDP along with National Traffic. They allege that they own a construction company and are engaged in road consultancy. Those information we're yet to confirm. I don't want to go ahead of myself to say things that we will not be able to substantiate later on. So I will just end it by saying that the information coming out of the press in Chetumal is something we're looking at to ascertain if in fact they came from a particular individual, and if either of them were recently involved in a shooting in Mexico, and finally to see if they are members of the Caborca cartels that operates in the Quintana Roo area of Mexico.
While an investigation is ongoing, this morning, Commissioner of Police Chester Williams told reporters that the Belize Police Department has been utilizing resources made available through the government of Belize to address the issue of drug-related crimes in Corozal District. The Briceño administration has allotted $1 million to law enforcement to fight the scourge of crime and violence stemming from the drug trade in the north.
Certainly we're doing our utmost best. We're grateful for the resources that has been provided to us through the government. You would know that we had the approval of the House of $1 million to procure items to be able to deal with the cartel issues in the north. While we have not been able to procure all the items, we have received majority of them, and our officers in the area are doing what they can to see how we can mitigate the issue. I don't think it is going to reach a stage where we'll eradicate it totally, but certainly we'll do our best to contain it, as well as to coordinate with our Mexican counterparts where the need may arise to ensure that we get good information on any activities that may be coming out of Mexican side into Belize, and vice versa, we would provide information to them as well.
Coming up, former police volunteer shoots and kills Billy White villager. We'll have more details when we come back.
Get ready for the hottest summer ever with Digi's Sizzling Summer Raffle. This summer, Digi is giving away a whopping $35,000 in prizes. Get a chance to win DigiCash and amazing prizes every day. And that's not all. There's not one, but 2 grand prizes. Prepaid customers, for every $5 in primary usage, you get an entry into our daily raffle. Plus, get entries for weekly giveaways and the grand prizes by purchasing promotional devices, signing up for DigiOne Bundle, DigiTV, and more. So don't miss out on a chance to win big. Join Digi's Sizzling Summer Raffle. Visit www.livedigi.com/sizzlingsummer for more information on how to participate. Digi, our national telecom.
Let's all be safe during the rainy season. Belize Electricity Limited reminds you that heavy rains can cause flooding in your neighborhood and on roads. Avoid driving or walking in flooded areas, which can have hidden dangers such as debris and fallen power lines. Belize Electricity Limited cares about your safety. Please stay safe.
Belize, get ready for the inauguration of our Belmopan Expressway drive-thru and restaurant expansion. This August 26th, come celebrate with us with the entire family at Quality Poultry Products Belmopan for a fun-filled day. We'll be having entertainment for the family, including a kids' play area with bouncy houses and a mechanical bull. Free food and drinks all day for purchases made, and a raffle on the hour every hour. You don't want to miss this huge event. Save the date, 26 August 2023. See you there!
One in 3 women experience violence at the hands of their husband or partner. That's over 800 million women worldwide. These women can feel trapped, afraid. Their lives are often restricted. Those who consider leaving often fear ending up penniless or losing their children. Over time, their confidence slips away, making a life without violence seem a distant memory. The abuse can lead to injuries, as well as serious physical and mental health problems, in some cases, even death. Many women contract sexually transmitted infections or have unwanted pregnancies, and when pregnant, have a greater risk of miscarriage or of having a premature or low birth weight baby. They can experience depression, anxiety, other mental health problems, or become addicted to drugs and alcohol. It can be hard to know who to trust or where to turn. But there is a place they can go. A visit to a local clinic is often one of the few opportunities women have to go out alone. And it's important for doctors and nurses to make sure this isn't a missed opportunity. When doctors, nurses, and midwives listen with compassion, survivors are more likely to share their story. When they ask the right questions, they can uncover what is really happening and challenge cultural attitudes that say it's okay for a husband to hit his wife. They can reassure women that it's not their fault and can work with women to help them stay safe. And where necessary, connect them with other services that can provide, for example, shelter, psychological support, legal services, and financial opportunities. More women can find their way to a life without violence when changes are implemented across healthcare and other systems. Changes such as private rooms for consultations, training that enables doctors and nurses to respond better to women's needs, and raising awareness of the harmful consequences of violence for women and children and how to prevent it. Making these changes helps foster a culture where violence is unacceptable and where women have the courage to speak out. Imagine if that could happen to each and every one of those 800 million women.
Mr. Abner Andre Perez. The statement you issued in defense of your misconduct is pathetic. The requests the lady made to you don't even come close to being extortion or blackmail. They are the kind of requests constituents make to their area rep every single day. By trading ministerial favors for sex, you have abused your power, dishonored the House of Representatives, and disgraced the cabinet. The Belize Constitution holds you to a higher standard. If you have even an ounce of honor, you would resign and save the Prime Minister the embarrassment of having to fire you. Abner Andre Perez, not fit for the cabinet, not fit for the House.
Embattled Belize Rural South Area Representative Andre Perez has taken a leave of absence from his responsibilities as Minister of Blue Economy and Civil Aviation. The decision comes amid a sex scandal involving the San Pedrano and a woman residing in Keycocker. Earlier today, the government of Belize issued a release stating that Prime Minister John Briceño has accepted a request from Perez for a leave of absence in cabinet. During that time, an investigation will be conducted into recent allegations made against the minister by attorney Wendy Oxaloo. Earlier today, News 5 obtained a leaked copy of a statement issued by Oxaloo in respect of allegations she has brought against Perez. In that release, Oxaloo decries the viral circulation of graphic images, purportedly of the minister, in the public domain. She also condemns, quote, the abusive and defamatory comments Minister Perez has made and continues to make about me to the media. There was never any attempt to blackmail or extort Minister Perez, end quote. As we've mentioned, an investigation will be held, and at the conclusion, Attorney General Anthony Sylvester will advise the Prime Minister whether there has been, quote, any actionable wrongdoing, unquote. A demand is being made for a criminal investigation to be launched, given the graphic description shared by Oxaloo in her account of what purportedly took place involving Perez. During Perez's leave of absence, his portfolio will be temporarily handled by Prime Minister John Briceño. As we reported at the top of the news, there were 2 murders in the Cayo district over the weekend. The shooting death of an alleged minor in San Ignacio town, for which Joseph Budna is also under investigation. And then there was the murder of a Billy White villager on Saturday night. Police responded to a report of shots fired at El Rey Bar in Billy White Village and arrived to find Eric Estrada and Rafael Rivero injured. Reports are that while Rivera was attending to Estrada, Dimas Duarte took out a handgun and fired several shots at Estrada. 11 bullets made their mark on Estrada, who died at the Western Regional Hospital. Fortunately, Rivera, who was behind the counter, was hit to the leg and survived the hail of bullets. As we found out, the shooter once volunteered with the Belize Police Department and has multiple gun licenses. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
Just after 8 o'clock on Saturday night, shots rang out at El Rey Bar in Billy White Village. 33-year-old Eric Estrada was gunned down by Dimas Duarte, another resident of the village.
When I heard those gunshots, I wake up and I came out and I started to listen what I could hear. When my brother came, my second brother, he came here and he told me that this man shot my brother at the bar. And even he was there too. When he see my next brother, he even run after him and attempt to kill him too. But my brother, he jumped 2 fences and he gone. So the man can't catch him.
Bar owner Rafael Rivera says that he was out fishing and had just returned to the establishment to take over from his mother. As Rivera fetched a bear for the deceased, he heard a barrage of bullets and would later realize that he had been shot to the leg.
I come in the house, coming into the bar. I saw my mom, she was coming to get some change from some of the clients. And then I just helped she to serve the beer when the guy was shot. And that's how we get shot.
And you got shot in the process.
Yes.
Talk to us about what injury.
I was to serve the beer. I feel the shot.
The gunman has been identified as Dimas Duarte, who has been living in the village for almost a decade. Commissioner of Police Chester Williams says that the murder may possibly be the result of an incident several months ago where Estrada reportedly had stabbed Duarte.
About a couple months ago, I believe in the month of May to be exact, Estrada was accused of stabbing Duarte during a previous misunderstanding they had. And perhaps that incident is what motivated what took place on Friday night.
But residents say that Duarte has been abusing his power as a police officer in the village.
I knew that man from a long time ago already, how he behaved when he is in the influence, and without the influence he is the same thing, the same person, trying to doing all kind of badness here. He then came walking along from that road with the gun in his hand. In the view of all the neighbors, he walked down till his house. Then from there, some other people say he was walking to the back.
Compol Chester Williams says that he was a former volunteer with the Belize Police Department and has not been working with the department for about 4 years.
He was one of those persons who volunteered with the police in that area. He's not a special constable per se. He's not paid or has never been paid by the police or the government of Belize in any way. You would know that in some communities we do have some people who would volunteer and come and work with the police and do patrols. He used to do that with the police in San Ignacio, but he had stopped over 3 to 4 years ago. So he was not engaged any at all with the police.
But he had a licensed firearm?
He had 2 licensed firearms, yes.
Was his link with the police department what enabled him to get 2 gun licenses?
I don't know, because those licenses were issued before my time as commissioner, so I cannot say.
Has he been detained?
At this time, no, we're still pursuing him. We believe that he might have fled over to Guatemala, as he's a Guatemalan by birth. And so we'll be working with our Guatemalan counterparts to see if we'll be able to locate him.
A wanted bulletin has since been issued for the detention of Duarte. Dwayne Moody for News 5.
2 elderly brothers are recovering from stab wounds they suffered at the hands of a younger relative on Saturday evening in Lemonal Village. The incident happened in front of the Anthony's residence, where a celebration was happening after a cricket match. And the suspect is no stranger to police. Aside from being the grandson of one of the victims and the grandnephew of the other, Dwayne Sutherland was out on bail on a gun charge when he stabbed his elders. News 5's Marion Ali has the details in the following report.
The quiet village of Lemonal in the Belize River Valley was the scene of a double stabbing on Saturday evening. Two elderly brothers, Tony and Russell Anthony, came under attack in front of Tony's residence, and it was at the hands of his own grandson. Tony told News 5 that he got stabbed for trying to prevent his grandson from returning to a scene where he was involved in a fight just minutes earlier.
Saturday evening, the guys made the Gawali, get together, drink, buy a couple beers after a cricket game because they come in third and they decide that they will have drinking and eating for the players there, and things just happen. My grandson, he stay in that little apartment there, and I see I gone out of the road. And when he get out there, I see a hustling happening. Fight? Well, kind of a fighting, yes. And he run back in here, and I made the talk to her and tell her I will not go back out there. And I insist that go because the thing will get worse. So, well, I don't know if he may feel like why stop here. Okay. So he just jam. Yes.
He already had a knife.
Well, I never say I pull out no knife. He just joked me.
Assistant Commissioner of Police Gilberto Romero told the media that the police have detained the suspect for the incident.
On Saturday, 19th day of August, police responded to Lemonal village where upon arrival they saw Dwayne Anthony and Russell Anthony with stab wound injuries. They were taken to the KHMH. Both have since been released from the KHMH and are back at home. We have one suspect in custody and we expect to charge him sometime this afternoon.
Is alcohol involved?
No, there was a fight and then this person inflicted stab injuries to the two male persons.
Luckily for the Anthony brothers, the wounds they suffered were not life-threatening and they will make full recoveries. For now, however, Tony Anthony told us that he remains in pain.
I can't move how I want, I can't sleep how I want. I just have to sleep only on my back, Okay.
But have the doctors told you that you're going to recover fully? Or?
Right, they discharged me and, everything I gone through a lot of tests before I come out. So they're sure that, all right.
Anthony also told us that his grandson is short-tempered. While he says he does not want to press criminal charges against him, he will have to move off his property and stay away.
I don't want to go no further because, the family. Yes. And, you know really, it matter my daughter, okay. The granny and my wife. So I don't want to be in a court. I don't want to. Okay. Although
so he has to move?
Well, you have to move. You have to go to your mother. You have a mother.
Okay.
That's all.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Marion Ali.
A 24-year-old Corozal town resident was shot on Saturday night while socializing at a bar. According to police, the victim, Adonai Rax, was at a Kimekero bar at around 9 o'clock when a single gunshot was heard. Rax then realized he was shot. He was transported to the Corozal Community Hospital where he is in a stable condition. Police are investigating. Police are also investigating a chopping incident in the town. According to reports, just before midnight on Friday, police visited 4th Avenue where they observed 28-year-old Franklin Moreno with injuries to his arm. Initial investigation reveals that Franklin Moreno and Douglas Moreno were socializing at a local bar when a brawl broke out and both brothers decided to leave the establishment. As they left, the brothers were attacked by two male persons who exited the back of a white pickup truck. Armed with machetes, the men inflicted chop wounds to Franklin Moreno's body. He was transported to the Corozal Community Hospital for medical attention, where he was listed in stable condition. After the break, head-on collision on Mayamal Curve claims 2 lives. We'll tell you about that, but first, here's the weather update with data from the Belize Met Service.
I think that the investment climate in Belize is very good. It's excellent.
Lies, Prime Minister. Belizean-owned businesses are closing down left, right, and center. Meanwhile, big investments by legitimate Belizean businessmen are rejected in favor of 2 dubious investors and their multinational partners who have no interest in Belize aside from destroying our natural resources and taking all they can from a developing country. Prime Minister, stop lie. You promised todos ganamos, but only the privileged are winning.
And that is why we felt it was important to be able to have another investment summit, which we'll have again in San Pedro.
So, PM, will you tell your investment summit participants that local investors in Belize are going out of business? That local cruise ship investors are sidelined in favor of special interest projects? And that your policies are destabilizing legitimate investments in Belize?
From generation to generation, Bristol Water is there every step of the way. Taste you can trust.
Welcome to Design Depot. All in one place. Shop brands you know and trust, like Kohler. Welcome, GE Appliances.
Welcome.
Oran Windows.
Welcome.
Tiles from around the world.
Welcome.
Sherwin-Williams Paint and Coatings. Visit us today at Mile 3 on the Philip Golson Highway or call us at 223-3768. Design Depot. All in one place.
Babe, have you seen the advisory that NEMA just posted? There's going to be a storm.
Storm? It's not a storm. That's just a little rain. We'll be all right.
Thank goodness that was only a simulation. But what if it wasn't? Consider this. You've worked hard building your future, your family, your business, your home. RF&G Insurance has policy options that can protect your most valued assets so that you can focus on what matters most. Include RF&G Insurance in your hurricane prep. Remember, it pays to get it right with RF&G Insurance, a Road Group company.
The Office of the Prime Minister invites you to join us at the second annual Belize Investment Summit from August 30th to September 1st, 2023 at the Grand Caribe Resort on Ambergris Caye. Belize, the land of endless potential, with a vibrant people and economy and a wealth of natural resources, is the region's premier investment hub, offering a range of opportunities across sectors including the blue, green, and orange economies. The Belize Investment Summit 2023 is your chance to explore these opportunities and connect with potential partners, investors, financiers, and stakeholders from across the globe. This 3-day summit will offer networking opportunities, site visits, one-on-one meetings, roundtable discussions, business pitches, an expo, and keynote presentations from government officials and industry leaders. Gain insight into Belize's investment climate and the incentives that make our country the destination for investment. Register now for the Belize Investment Summit 2023 and discover a world of opportunities. Be a believer. Invest in Belize. Thrive in Belize.
Make your summer better. Over $30,000 in cash and prizes with Smart Summer Sweepstakes. Here's how you can enter for a chance to win. Sign up for a smart postpaid, broadband, or VoIP plan. Use $100 or more regular prepaid credit. Do a SIM swap or text in to the shark code 786. In the body of the message, enter the number of entries you would like to purchase.
No waste no time. You can be the winner of weekly prizes. All methods give you more chances to win local airline tickets, overnight stays at numerous resorts, cash prizes, gift certificates, and much, much more. One lucky person will win the grand prize valued at $10,000, courtesy of Smart and the Belize Tourism Board.
Promotion ends September 15th. So make your summer better by getting in the race to win with Smart's Summer Sweepstakes. Smart, bringing people together.
And I'm disappointed with the NG senators, the NGO senators, when they're saying, oh, they want to also investigate the government. That's the problem.
Prime Minister, you can't serious.
If we brought it to cabinet, so what?
Prime Minister Briceño loves to pretend he stands for democracy and democratic principles. But here he is attacking the independent senators as they rightfully investigate just how far he was willing to go to get the definitive agreement passed in the House.
Ms. Chanona, who's the person? Well, we know who wrote it. We know who wrote that was written for her. But Ms. Chanona, you ended up looking foolish.
Prime Minister, why are you trying to undermine the investigation? Is it all just to make sure they don't find out how far you went to push the definitive agreement through cabinet? Meanwhile, you're still exploiting your position of power to push through a special law for a mega corporation.
I hope that it should be ready for the cabinet to discuss, and if the cabinet approves it, then it will go to the House for it to be passed on into law.
Prime Minister, you know your Portico pension plan law will still have to be approved by the Senate. So here you are maligning and attacking the independent senators. But it won't work, Mr. Prime Minister. The pension plan for the boys will be uncovered.
Two men were killed in a traffic accident on the Philip Golson Highway on Saturday morning. The mishap happened at the famous Mamayal curve near the entrance to San Roman village and involved a pickup and a motorcycle on which the two victims were traveling. The victims are two men who lived about 20 minutes away in San Roman village. They were heading to work when the head-on collision occurred. And police say that behind the steering wheel was Victor Castillo, who they have served with a notice of intended prosecution. News 5's Marion Ali reports.
This sharp bend at mile 65 on the Philip Golson Highway is responsible for at least 9 fatalities in the past 5 years. And this cross marks the spot where the two latest victims, San Roman residents 24-year-old Ruperto Carlos Novello and 29-year-old Alex Mejias Calderon, died Saturday morning. Novello's father told News 5 that the two were heading to work, as they did every morning around that time. Within minutes, Ruperto received the bad news that he had lost his only son.
About 6:30 or something like that, they moved. And about 6:30 when I get the message that they see my son there, almost died because they don't take long. My son-in-law, he dies, I think, at once.
Okay.
And when I get that news, I try to get somebody to carry me, but I couldn't get it. I get it afterward, but it was too late, no? I couldn't get in time.
All right. But when you got there, what did you see?
Well, when I get there, I see the police. The police is they are checking, and taking measures and things like that.
Both men died at the scene. Information is that the pickup was overtaking another vehicle and was in the lane of the oncoming motorcycle. The driver of the vehicle was freelance reporter Victor Castillo of Belize Live News. Today, the Belize Police Department's Eastern Division Commander, ACP Gilberto Romero, said that if the investigation shows what the reports on the ground are suggesting, Castillo will be charged.
Information is that the pickup was heading to Corozal when it collided with the motorcycle. Both persons were taken to the Northern Regional Hospital, where they were pronounced dead on arrival. Investigation into this matter continues. The driver has been served with an IP and samples obtained for testing.
Ruperto Novello reminisces on the last conversation that he and Carlos had just one day before. It was to help husk these coconuts to make coconut oil.
Friday afternoon when he comes from the work, he take tea, and then I was peeling coconut. So my son tell me, "You want to peel coconut?" Telling yes. Father, Sunday I can help you. It's okay, son. So, but that never happened because when he moved Saturday, he never can turn back again.
Ruperto Novello was the father of a child aged 2, and his common-law wife is expecting to deliver their second child in November. Reporting for News 5, I'm Marion Ali.
There was a robbery near mile 12 on the George Price Highway on Friday that resulted in an employee of Grace Kennedy Belize being injured by gunshots. Ellis Arkless and his sidemen were en route to Belize City when they were ambushed by several persons inside a vehicle. The men fired multiple shots at the cargo truck, which careened into a nearby ditch. The sidemen fled into the nearby bushes unscathed. However, Arkless was wounded. The culprits then stole a black knapsack containing personal items. Prompt police response led to the getaway car being intercepted on the John Smith Road. Assistant Commissioner of Police Alberto Romero provides additional details.
Police responded to a robbery shooting on the Philip Golson Highway. Upon arrival, information was received that Ellis Arclis received gunshot injuries. Information is that he was driving a Grace Kennedy truck along with two other male persons who were in the truck when a male person came on the road and fired shots in his direction. He received gunshot injuries, and thereafter the truck came to the side of the road. Police responded and intercepted the suspected car used in the robbery on the John Smith Road. 3 male persons exited the car and made good their escape. Arclis is at the Belize Medical Associates in stable condition at this time. Investigation into this matter continues.
Has the police been able to establish who was the owner of that vehicle?
Yes, we established who is the owner of the vehicle. The vehicle had been reported stolen a week prior.
And the men, any idea where these men are from?
No, we are presently trying to establish who they are.
When we return, a second review of Belize's implementation of UNCAC.
Everything is better electric. Be more efficient with electric vehicles and transforming your home with Energy Star electric appliances and power tools. This helps to create a greener and cleaner world for the next generation. Energize your world with BEL.
Every project has to start somewhere, and Brothers Habet's got you covered. We're the place for professionals because we understand success is built on quality and reliability. For the do-it-yourselfers seeking quality tools and materials to bring their out-of-the-box ideas to life, our paint department offers a kaleidoscope of hues to those looking to express their unique style. And for those seeking the perfect touch of elegance for their homes, we offer a curated collection of household fixtures and furnishings that caters to every taste. But what sets Brothers Habet apart is our exceptional customer service. Our employees go above and beyond to ensure that every customer's needs are met. We're here to see you through your building journey. Visit Brothers Habet and get started today, or call or WhatsApp us for a quote. See you soon.
KTV The Remix Season 5, every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Come on out and win fabulous prizes and the chance to compete in our halftime challenge. Tickets are available at Channel 5 on Pony Drive and 88 Shopping Center on Central American Boulevard. $3 for children and $5 for adults. Or catch it live on Channel 5, Facebook, and YouTube every Tuesday at 8 p.m. from the Bliss Center for the Performing Arts. Don't miss KTV The Remix Season 5. It's hot, it's live, and it's only on 5.
It seems like every other day, we hear of a family member or friend being diagnosed with a serious illness such as cancer, heart attack, kidney failure, or stroke. When these illnesses strike, you want to focus on recovery and your overall well-being. At RF&G Life Insurance, we offer critical illness insurance to help with medical expenses when diagnosed with such critical illnesses, providing security to access quality healthcare facilities and to ease the worry about finances. In case you are diagnosed with a life-threatening illness that is covered by the policy, critical illness insurance pays you a lump sum amount to help you obtain access to quality treatment and medication. Having critical illness insurance provides the financial support that will bring you and your family the security and peace of mind necessary to manage these illnesses. The possibility of being diagnosed can be worrying, but by having a critical illness plan, you could have have funds to assist with expenses such as medications, hospital deductibles, childcare, household expenses, and so much more. The right time to plan for the unexpected is when you're healthy. For more information, visit our office today to speak with one of our experienced agents about critical illness insurance. Your health and wellness is what matters most. Take care of it.
Visit Benny's today to get all your household and construction needs, from tiles to paints, electrical and plumbing supplies to power tools, lights and fans to kitchen appliances and faucets, gym equipment to household items. We have what you need. We also offer store-wide promotions for you, our customers, so you can enjoy deals and discounts all year long. To get more value for your purchase, take advantage of Benny's B-Bucks, which is free money. All you have to do is shop at any Benny's location or entity. Stop in at Benny's Home Center on Regent Street, Benny's Bargain Center on Freetown Road, Benny's Superstore 2.5 miles Philip Golson Highway, or Benny's Cayo 43 miles George Price Highway just outside Belmopan. Enjoy special offers, free delivery, and get rewarded with free money when you shop at Benny's today. Benny's, quality and savings.
Taking its name from the venerable father of the nation, the George Price Highway stretches 77 miles from Belize City to Benqueviejo. Originally built in the 1930s, this cross-country highway system is the artery that links Belize to Central America at the western border with Guatemala. That connection facilitates overland trade, supporting Belize's economic development. Winding its way across the scenic countryside, the George Price Highway, from Roaring Creek to Esperanza, has been fully reconstructed to meet international standards, with particular emphasis on road safety. A shorter and hassle-free commute is best enjoyed when everyone obeys the traffic laws. To reduce the number and frequency of road traffic accidents, it means that a seatbelt must be worn at all times, and the speed limit observed when traveling along the highway. It also means that pedestrians must use sidewalks and crosswalks where available. Buses should only board and discharge passengers at a designated bus stop. Road safety is everyone's responsibility. It begins with you.
Minister Abner Andre Perez, the statement you issued in defense of your misconduct is pathetic. The requests the lady made to you don't even come close to being extortion or blackmail. They are the kind of requests constituents make to their area rep every single day. By trading ministerial favors for sex, you have abused your power, dishonored the House of Representatives, and disgraced the cabinet. The Belize Constitution holds you to a higher standard. If you have even an ounce of honor, you would resign and save the Prime Minister the embarrassment of having to fire you. Abner Andre Perez, not fit for the cabinet, not fit for the House.
Today at the Leigh Richardson Building in Belmopan, an opening ceremony was held for a review of Belize's implementation of the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, UNCAC. It's the second reassessment of the country's standing since ratification back in December 2016. Fast-tracked this week, officials are in country to meet with government officials on the progress made so far and what revisions, if any, need to be put in to strengthen laws. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
The Civil Asset Recovery and Unexplained Wealth Bill, the Whistleblowers Act, they are proposed pieces of legislation that, when passed, will give teeth to the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, otherwise known as the UNCAC. This, along with the establishment of the Integrity Commission, which is in accordance with Section 3, 2, and 1 of the Prevention of Corruption Act, Chapter 105 of the Laws of Belize, is among the list of things that will be reviewed by a visiting team from the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime.
We look forward to very fruitful deliberations and a constructive dialogue with all of you, with the different participants over the next 2.5 days. And we also appreciate the participation of civil society and of non-governmental stakeholders in this review exercise. As with all countries, the review process is intended mainly to assist the states under review to more fully implement the UN Convention Against Corruption. As such, the observations may shed light certainly on successes or good practices when it comes to implementing the convention, but also perhaps on areas where additional work may be useful or necessary to more fully implement those principles.
CEO in the Ministry of Constitutional and Political Reform, Rolanda Zatina, says that the anti-corruption initiatives and mechanisms are paramount to fostering national development.
Our ministry has been arduously implementing measures that will lead to the implementation of UNCAC. We have trained and continue to train public officers in the area of good governance. We have established the Good Governance Unit. The unit is mandated to consolidate all our efforts towards implementing anti-corruption measures. We are also meeting with MESICIC, who is the Inter-American Convention Against Corruption, and we have had preliminary discussions with Transparency International. This is how committed we are. Our commitment not only upholds the rule of law, but also empowers citizens to actively participate in our country's progress. We believe that to end corruption, we must first understand corruption.
The first review was in 2018, and back then, recommendations were made for the strengthening of the Integrity Commission, which Director of the Good Governance Unit, Cesar Ross, says was done. In this second cycle review process, the visiting experts are from Uruguay and the Marshall Islands.
They said that what government needs to do is take the steps to make the Integrity Commission a much more functional and operational entity as such. And what has been happening since last year is that the administration is both has operationalized the new Integrity Commission and is in discussion in empowering them to be able to proceed with much more effective monitoring of their mandate as such. No? This second cycle is focused on Articles 5 to 14 of Chapter 2, preventive measures, and 51 to 59 of Chapter 5, asset recovery of the United Nations Convention Against Corruption as such. During the course of the next 3 days, many questions will be asked. Much will have been clarified, and Belize will be that much closer to fulfill the implementation of the United Nations Convention Against Corruption.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
Bernardo Arevalo, an anti-corruption advocate representing the progressive Movimiento Semilla party, emerged victorious in Guatemala's presidential election on Sunday. He defeated former First Lady Sandra Torres. With a complete tally of votes, Arevalo secured an impressive 58.01% of the votes compared to Torres's 37.24%. The election of Arevalo stands as a robust rejection of the prevailing democratic decay and deeply ingrained political malfeasance within the most populous nation in Central America. Along with El Salvador and Nicaragua, Guatemala was one of several Central American countries to suffer a troubling authoritarian slide in recent years. The center-left politician Arevalo skillfully harnessed the prevalent public dissatisfaction by pledging to rein in crime and corruption, address malnutrition, and foster development in a nation marked by some of the most pronounced inequality levels in the area. Belize's Foreign Affairs Minister Eamon Courtney congratulated Arevalo and Corinne Herrera, the newly elected vice president, on X. Minister Courtney said, quote, "Belize looks forward to a lawful transition and assumption of office in January 2024. Belize and Guatemala will continue cordial relations with the new government," unquote. International media are reporting that Arevalo is being urged to ditch Taiwan. He has said he does not want to cut ties with Taipei, but does want more trade with mainland China. Guatemala, together with Belize, are the only two Central American countries out of just 13 worldwide that recognizes Taipei instead of Beijing. Taiwan has lost 9 diplomatic allies since 2016, with Honduras being the latest Central American country to switch allegiance in March. Taiwan congratulated Arevalo on his victory this morning. Up next, Belize Rural Softball Championship Showdown.
I think that the investment climate in Belize is very good. It's excellent.
Lies, Prime Minister. Belizean-owned businesses are closing down left, right, and center. Meanwhile, big investments by legitimate Belizean businessmen are rejected in favor of 2 dubious investors and their multinational partners who have no interest in Belize aside from destroying our natural resources and taking all they can from a developing country. Prime Minister, stop lie. You promised todos ganamos, but only the privileged are winning.
And that is why we felt it was important to be able to have another investment summit, which we'll have again in San Pedro.
So, PM, will you tell your investment summit participants that local investors in Belize are going out of business? That local cruise ship investors are sidelined in favor of special interest projects? And that your policies are destabilizing legitimate investments in Belize?
The Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, proudly celebrates its 120th anniversary of service and achievement in the Americas. PAHO began operating in Belize in the early 1950s. PAHO committed to providing technical cooperation to strengthen the capacity of Belize's health sector and improve the health of the people of Belize. The Malaria Eradication Program, which began in 1974, is one of the great success stories of PAHO's collaboration with the government of Belize. Since December 2018, Belize has reported 0 cases of malaria, placing the country well on track toward malaria elimination. For other vector-borne diseases like dengue, chikungunya, and Zika, PAHO led public health responses in Belize, which included surveillance, prevention and control, and the mobilization of resources. The emergence of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 presented the greatest global public health challenge in recent history. In Belize, PAHO supported the Ministry of Health and Wellness by training lab personnel to diagnose SARS-CoV-2, evaluating isolation and long-term facilities, providing technical guidance for decentralized testing, and supporting procurement of COVID-19 test kits, medical and laboratory equipment and supplies, PPE, and IT communication equipment and materials. PAHO facilitated the acquisition of COVID-19 vaccines through COVAX and supported the COVID-19 vaccination rollout, contributing to 64.62% of the target population being fully vaccinated by December 30, 2021. PAHO has built national capacity through specialized training to address non-communicable diseases such as heart disease, cancer and diabetes, which have been leading causes of death in Belize. With PAHO's support, all public hospitals have been certified as baby-friendly hospitals, as have 3 public polyclinics. The Smart Hospitals Initiatives was launched in Belize in 2016 and to date has retrofitted 5 health facilities countrywide. In collaboration with the Ministry of Health and Wellness, PAHO is providing safer, greener, climate-resistant health facilities to deliver care in disasters, generate operational savings, and reduce disaster losses. The launch of the National One Health platform in October 2022 will foster a coordinated, multi-sectorial collaboration to address the full spectrum of disease control, from prevention to detection, preparedness, response, and management. PAHO Belize will continue its decades-long commitment to the government and people of Belize in achieving the highest standard of health and well-being for all persons through universal access to healthcare, universal health coverage, resilient health systems, and quality health services throughout the life course.
How does investment services work? For example, Joe's Construction wants to expand its operations by purchasing new equipment and hiring additional staff. How can Joe's Construction get an investment loan? The answer: Investment Services appraises the loan application and focuses on two key areas: adequate collateral and repayability. Investment Services will also consider how Belizeans and the economy will benefit from this new investment through job creation and business growth. The terms and conditions for Joe's Construction loan will be based on the purpose and cash flow. After recommendation and approval, the loan is disbursed. SSB remains committed to proper management of the fund through prudent and responsible investments for the benefit of its beneficiaries, employers, and the Belizean economy. Social Security Board, an investment for you, your family, your future.
Sign up for Smart Share Plan and save big. Whether you're a small entrepreneur starting up your business, a student on a limited budget, or a family trying to save, this is the plan for you. With unlimited SMS, calls, and data, we help you save. Get up to 5 lines for as low as $30 per line monthly, only with Smart. Sign up today at any Smart showroom or sales manager countrywide. So get your business going, share more memories with friends, and be ready for the day with Smart.
And I'm disappointed with the NG senators, the NGO senators, when they're saying, oh, they want to also investigate the government. That's the problem.
Prime Minister, you can't serious.
If we brought it to cabinet, so what?
Prime Minister Briceño loves to pretend he stands for democracy and democratic principles. But here he is attacking the independent senators as they rightfully investigate just how far he was willing to go to get the definitive agreement passed in the House.
Ms. Chanona, who's the person? Well, we know who wrote it. We know who wrote that was written for her. But Ms. Chanona, you ended up looking foolish.
Prime Minister, why are you trying to undermine the investigation? Is it all just to make sure they don't find out how far you went to push the definitive agreement through cabinet? Meanwhile, you're still exploiting your position of power to push through a special law for a mega corporation.
I hope that it should be ready for the cabinet to discuss, and if the cabinet approves it, then it will go to the House for it to be passed on into law.
Prime Minister, you know your Portico pension plan law will still have to be approved by the Senate. So here you are maligning and attacking the independent senators. But it won't work, Mr. Prime Minister. The pension plan for the boys will be uncovered.
Good night and welcome to another edition of Sports Monday. I am Paul Lopez. Author and fitness coach Fred DeVito once said, if it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. Over the weekend, Belize Rural held its 2023 Women's Softball Championship, a challenge that saw the top 4 teams in the area go head-to-head. It all began on Friday night inside Sandhill Village when Lords Bank took to the pitch to face off against Doublehead Cabbage. Fans were out in numbers cheering on their teams. The 2-hour delay did not deter them from staying to watch the games. Lords Bank is batting at the top of the second inning. Anna Vaccaro hits the ball to the shortstop. Georgia Carr makes it home from the third base to secure her team's first run. Americia Swift also makes it home, and an error by the first base fielder puts Vaccaro at second base. Bases are loaded at the bottom of the second inning with no outs. Doublehead Cabbage down by 2 has an opportunity to take the lead. Number 11, Georgia Joseph strikes out. Teresa Ferguson hits the ball directly to the shortstop. That's 2 downs. Number 5 is their last hope to capitalize on the loaded bases in this inning, but she also strikes out. With runners on first and second at the bottom of the third, Deanna Tun is up to bat for Doublehead Cabbage. Tun hits a ground ball along the left field, sending her teammate Denise Casasola to the home base. That's the first run for DHC. At the top of the fourth inning, Lords Bank would secure 2 more runs. Those runs were from number 17, Chantel Longsworth, and number 21, Vaccaro. Lords Bank went on to win the game with an additional 2 runs at the top of the 6th inning. That one ended 6-4 runs. Also that night, Sandhill took on Ladyville. Sandhill won their match. The action continued on Sunday afternoon. Here is the match between the 2 winning teams from Friday night. It is Sandhill versus Lords Bank. The winner of the match will go on to secure a spot in the finals. Sandhill is batting at the top of the third inning with 3 runs on the scoreboard. That's a 4th run for the home team. Number 16 for Sandhill up to bat. She sends that one flying into the left field, sending in another run for Sandhill. That puts the match at 5 runs to 2. Off the pitch, Richards makes a dash for home base. She almost tramples the pitcher, but the umpire calls it an out. At the top of the 4th inning, Sandhill's Francine Morales is batting. She sends the ball flying past the third base fielder. Ophelia Morales makes it home safely. The backstop makes a quick throw to second base. Multiple errors there also sends Megan Young home. Down by 6 points at the bottom of the 5th inning, Lords Bank Rosie Carr finds an opening through the center field for a much-needed home run to boost the spirit of her teammates. Sandhill would go on to score 2 additional runs at the top of the 6th inning, earning them a total of 10 runs to their opponents' 3, leaving the umpire no choice but to declare the mercy rule. Sandhill was declared the victor, and they secured their spot in the finals. It was then down to Doublehead Cabbage and Lords Bank to see which of the 2 teams would make it to the finals to face off against the dominant Sandhill. Well, after 6 innings, the mercy rule was once again declared as Doublehead Cabbage secured 12 runs, while Lords Bank was only able to bring home 3 runs. So here we are, the sun has set and the final match of this tournament is underway. Doublehead Cabbage versus Sandhill. Francine Morales up to bat for Sandhill with runners on third and second. Morales hits the ball into the center field. Ophelia Morales sprints to the home base and makes it there safe. And a second run for Sandhill in the first inning as Megan Young comes in. Bases are loaded at the bottom of the third. Doublehead Cabbage is trailing by 2 points with 2 downs in the inning. Catherine Rayburn is batting. She has 2 strikes. Rayburn connects, but the ball gets to the first base before she does. That's 3 downs and a lost opportunity to take the lead for Doublehead Cabbage. On the other hand, the runs just kept coming in for Sandhill. Number 11, Ophelia Morales makes it home in the 5th inning. An additional 3 runs in the 6th inning. And another 3 in the 7th gave Sandhill the victory over Doublehead Cabbage to claim the title of Belize Rural Softball Champions 2023. This weekend, both Sandhill and Doublehead Cabbage will be representing Belize Rural in the 31st Women's Softball Nationals inside Rogers Stadium. And now for some cycling action. The second running of the Baby Chav fundraiser cycling race was held on Sunday. The 30-mile race began in San Ignacio and took riders through the Caracol Road and back into San Ignacio. Oscar Quiros dominated the race, winning 13 of the 17 station prizes. He also took the top spot as the first rider to finish the race. The Kevin Bernard Under 15 Mundialito also came to a close on Sunday. Team USA won the tournament, while Team Japan finished in second. Playoffs MVP went to Hadid Torres of Team USA. The regular season MVP went to Kaiser Rodney of Team Japan. The third place trophy went to Colombia. Well, folks, that's all we have for you in tonight's coverage of Sports Monday. Catch you in the next one.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at channel5belize.com, on our Facebook, and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, good night.